That was pretty cool. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hated to tap the microphone and stop the energy that's happening in this room this morning. It's so great to see you all, and just such a positive vibe as we start off the semester. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Good morning, everybody. I'm President Christy Mindrup, and I'm honored to welcome everyone to the 2025 Western Illinois University Fall Assembly. I want to recognize our distinguished guests in attendance today. Thank you to Macomb Mayor Mike Inman and our 36th District State Senator Mike Halpin for joining us. In addition, our board chair, Polly Radosh, is here today, Dr. Polly Radosh. This is an opportunity to reflect today on our mission and priorities for Western Illinois University. As WIU enters its 126th year, we recognize the ways our university has changed throughout distant and recent history. WIU brings 126 years of experience adapting and evolving to student interests, regional needs, and the opportunities and challenges that have occurred for more than a century. As we begin the 2025-26 academic year, we recognize that higher education throughout the United States is experiencing one of the most transformative periods in history. The forces affecting and shaping institutions are complex and rapidly evolving and require collective focus, creativity, innovation, and resilience. Our collective efforts during the past year have positioned WIU to better adapt with agility to shifting demographics, student interests and needs, and new political pressures. Our shared goal to move WIU from a reactionary, dependent organization to one that can chart its own destiny in order to evolve, which raises the question, are we ready to evolve? Western Illinois University and all of its people, faculty, staff, students, and alumni pride on Western's history and past success. Rightly so. A university history, culture, and traditions are woven into our identity. When celebrating our past, there is also potential to recognize that a new, evolving WIU can coexist in harmony with our memories. In 1902, when classes officially began at WIU, there were 229 students enrolled who were taught by 16 faculty. At 229 students, WIU was fulfilling its mission to provide teacher education for the first time in West Central Illinois. In 1973, the year I was born, Western reached an all-time high enrollment of 15,469 students, and the following year dipped 7.9% to 14,237. At that time, there were 744 faculty spanning 6 colleges. Was the university more or less successful in 1973 than it was in 1902? Or had Western's scope and volume changed due to demand and external factors? Certainly, we all agree that Western Illinois University looks different now than 52 or even 126 years ago. I just gave away my age, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. This does not mean that WIU is not great and that it cannot become even greater. Theodore Roosevelt is quoted as saying, quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy," unquote. Over a career and in life, I have witnessed and participated in comparison mindset only to watch it steal from and stifle from creativity, evolution, and optimism. We would better spend our time talking about present success stories of our students, faculty, and staff, and the impact of our excellent programs. WIU will be successful at any size because of our people and our dedication to our mission. There is one question. Are we ready to let go of what we were and to lift up where we are now in order to evolve into what we will be? We ask the same question of students as they begin their transformative experience at WIU. Now is the time to open our minds to what is next for Western Illinois University. New successes begin with how we talk about ourselves and our great institution. During the past year, we engaged as a university community during the Insights and Innovation sessions, a new WIU discussions, and various stakeholder meetings with students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members. As a continuation of those discussions, this fall 2025 will kick off the process to build a new WIU strategic plan. Higher education is changing quickly, and our institution's plan must reflect a changing world while also staying true to our mission. We know through discussions over the past year and external recognition that Western Illinois University is an institution recognized for promoting students' social mobility. WIU is well positioned to reimagine itself and energize new initiatives that build a bright future. As we imagine WIU through strategic planning, we will center on the following priorities. There are 3. Priority 1, position WIU for enrollment success. We will work together across divisions to align resources to invest in our institution's strength in enrollment. We will leverage the guidance of industry expertise to continue progress toward expanding Western's market impact, leverage strategic collaboration across all divisions of WIU. We will also welcome a new Associate Vice President for Admission and Enrollment Services and Director of Global Studies who will bring new strategies for enrollment success. Priority 2, cultivate student ambition and self-authorship. To promote success across the university, we will focus on cultivating a culture of ambition and self-authorship across all areas of the institution, including students. WIU students, faculty, and staff, and the institution itself will thrive within a university culture that promotes engagement, confidence, creativity, mentorship, and purpose-driven learning, teaching, practice, and scholarship. Priority 3, amplifying WIU success. We will further define WIU and further strengthen our brand to acknowledge the ways WIU serves our region, state, and beyond. Leveraging our designation as an opportunity college, we have the opportunity to center our identity around excellence, access, and outcomes. We will elevate the accomplishments of our students and alumni. We will lift up the contributions of our faculty and programs. We will celebrate major milestones, such as the grand opening of the Goldfarb Center for Performing Arts. Today and throughout the year, you will hear from our university's leaders who will lead these priorities within their division and collaboratively across all divisions. Dr. Mark Mossman, Provost, will discuss the university's academic rebuild plan, a plan that recognizes our programmatic assets, creates new synergies within strategic reorganization, and positions academics to align with recruitment and retention initiatives. Keitra Roseley, Vice President for Finance and Administration, will discuss today the priorities and progress made on our financial picture and ongoing strategies. And Justin Hsu, Vice President for Student Success, will discuss our student profile to inform our perspectives and highlight upcoming initiatives and opportunities that will contribute to institutional priorities. I am grateful for each of these university leaders and the entire university community who care so deeply about Western Illinois University. All of you are personally invested, dedicated not just to higher education, but specifically to Western Illinois University. Their desire to succeed, thrive, and lead are exactly the right leadership at the right time to move Western Illinois University forward. Thank you. Yeah. There is so much to look forward to during the coming year. This is a day of celebration. What an opportunity we have to be bold, innovative, and imaginative, to shape a future where Western Illinois University leads with purpose and pride. I invite each of you, Leatherneck Nation, to join together to shape the next evolution of Western Illinois University. Together, we will promote our strengths, celebrate our heritage, and most importantly, unite to build the future our students deserve, one that is vibrant, innovative, inclusive, and full of promise. Thank you, Leatherneck Nation, for all you do for WIU. And now I turn the program over to our interim provost, Dr. Mark Mossman.
Thank you, President Mindrup, and welcome everyone, and thank you for being here this morning. In the context of President Mindrup's opening comments, as well as Vice President Rosalieb and Shu's upcoming presentations, this morning I will briefly offer a vision of WIU's upcoming academic year, giving you a summary of our academic affairs rebuild, as well as a note on our new classification from the Carnegie Foundation. In academic affairs, we are now engaged in phase 2 of the division's total rebuild, and it is total rebuild. And I'm going to give, for the first part, a brief overview of what we've done so far, and I recognize that it is actually very dense and complicated. And so I apologize for that, but I think we all need to hear it and get on the same page. So in February 2025, a constituency committee composed of a dean, a chair, the UPI president, the faculty senate chair, first year and major advising, and representatives from the provost's office all began meeting to discuss the possibility of rebuilding and reorganizing the Division of Academic Affairs. From the start, this discussion was shaped by data from the Higher Learning Commission, HLC, accreditation reports, trends in higher education, conversations across campus constituencies, trends in enrollment, budget, and the space utilization realities WIU is now facing. Though there were differing opinions and multiple perspectives on scope and detail and everything else, the committee, I think, did agree that this kind of work would be a daunting and difficult task, and also successful if we worked collaboratively. After reviewing data from similarly sized institutions and affirming that the guiding principles of the rebuild would include sustainability and efficiency, as well as respect for individual program purposes, pedagogies, and traditions, the decision was made to first explore a 1, 2, or 3 college model, and then ultimately to proceed with a new 2 college model for the division. The need for interdisciplinarity also emerged pretty strongly in these discussions, an interdisciplinarity that encompasses much more than academic course content, but indeed the different perspectives of the entire university and the student learning that happens in all of these spaces, and these co-curricular spaces. We must create a comprehensive environment for our students and our colleagues where innovative engagement can take place. And in terms of the budget, the Provost's Office and the Faculty Senate Chair, in consultation with the Vice President of Finance and Administration, determined tentatively that the proposed 2 college model could save between $800,000 and $1.2 million, with the understanding that the exact savings will depend on the restructuring of the administrative leadership in the colleges, the number of future summer administrative contracts, and the absolutely necessary work of collective bargaining with UPI and any of the other unions on campus. Again, we are a unionized campus, we are a shared governance campus, and working within these structures makes everything that we do stronger. And I'm an idealistic person by nature, but in these first committee discussions, I do think that I can say we all glimpsed a new, robust WIU taking shape, a place where we would emphasize cooperation, collaboration, efficiency, success, and again, innovation. And I think we can say with confidence, or I can say with confidence, that these early months in the constituency committee, we recognized that this is a process that is focused on problem solving, and that many questions at the start of the process we probably cannot answer until we complete the process itself. Thus, what developed was and is a 3-phase comprehensive plan to rebuild the division by focusing, again, on efficiencies, on the diversity of our disciplines, and on establishing a solid fiscal and intellectual foundation that will in turn enable us to stabilize and evolve over the next 1 to 5 to 10 years and beyond. After much drafting, discussion, sharing, and revision, faculty were asked by the Faculty Senate to express their approval or disapproval of the creation of the 2 college model for the division. I want to emphasize that this was a thoughtful and inclusive process, and that it was built on the foundation of collaboration between the Provost's Office, the Faculty Senate Chair and Executive Committee, and the Rebuild Constituency Committee. As such, the Senate conducted a Qualtrics survey of faculty on the creation of the 2 new colleges, the information was collected between April 28th and May 5th, 2025. A majority of the respondents approved the creation of 2 new colleges, with 63.5% approving the formation of a College of Humanities, Arts, Sciences, and Education, and 79.2% approving the formation of a College of Business, Health, and Community Programs. And on May 13th, Faculty Senate voted to approve the creation of the 2 new colleges. So again, complicated history, in my opinion. And now on the Provost webpage, you'll find multiple documents that explain and illustrate the process of the rebuild itself and the process itself, and they'll be continuing that work and posting documents as we move forward. And as we move into the fall semester, we will continue the rebuild with the same approach. That is discussion, revision, transparency, and collaborative work with our shared governance structures like Faculty Senate and UPI. The larger goals of this work remain the same. Solidify who we are and what we are as a division, maximize stakeholder engagement, increase interdisciplinarity across the institution, and reduce administrative costs. Likewise, our organizing principles remain the same. They are pedagogy, that is our work in the classrooms, purpose and practice in our academic units, and a respect for the traditions of our varied disciplines. As we move forward together, we will recognize the need for flexibility, for tolerance, and for an openness to different viewpoints. Put simply, as new information emerges and fiscal, facility, and staff realities change, which it's all going to happen, the plan has to be adjusted accordingly throughout each of the phases and throughout the entire process. So we are now in the drafting mode, especially when it pertains to the schools under the two-college model. So just quickly, a timeline again. At this point, we've completed the conceptual restructuring of the division. We've begun work on administrative inefficiencies, looking at everything from ACE sheets to course schedules and so on. We continue the commitment to work together. So administration, Senate, UPI, and all the other groups are working together and also adhering to protocols and procedures required by our collective bargaining agreements and shared governance model. And we've now formed 7 committees, and I listed them at the social yesterday. But the committees range in focus from building spaces to interdisciplinarity, from communication to advising, and they are actively now beginning to engage the sort of implementation of the rebuild. So understand again that this is a process, and that each step there will be reports, discussions, and basically time provided for questions at Faculty Senate and through any other shared governance model we can find, basically. And thus we will continue to move forward together as we envision the future for the Division of Academic Affairs. Part 2. In addition to the rebuild, our division this year will be engaged in various retention and success-oriented initiatives, including a focus on developing ambition and agency in our students and in our colleagues, as well as a more in-the-weeds analysis of first-year students' credit-taking behaviors and enrollment practices. All of these initiatives, as President Mindrup alluded to, all these initiatives are really guided by our recent Carnegie classification, which is a recognition of our success as an institution and gives us a clear direction for our evolution and development as a university. Vice President Hsu will go into more detail on this designation, which is, in my opinion, a very big win for Western. But briefly, we're classified as by Carnegie as an opportunity university. This classification identifies the extent to which institutions provide access to students from lower socioeconomic and historically underrepresented backgrounds, along with a degree to which the institution's students go on to earn competitive wages in the context of their geographic location. So the 2 major factors or questions Carnegie asked in determining the classification for an institution is, first involves access. So does the institution provide access to a student population that reflects the populations they serve? And so what they basically looked at was undergraduate students who receive Pell Grants and who are from underrepresented groups. And then the second question involved earnings. And the question is, after the students leave the institution, how much are they making compared to their peers in the job market? When these 2 questions are applied to Western, to our university, the result is a very, very positive picture of what we're doing here. According to Carnegie, and again, this is Carnegie, we are a leader in providing access and economic opportunities for students. We are among the 16% of colleges and universities in the US that have received this classification, the opportunity classification. And indeed, we are actually rated #1 of public schools in the state of Illinois. So this is excellent. Yeah. Put simply, to summarize this, we provide access to higher education, and when our students complete their degrees within 8 years, they are making more money than their peers. We know this. We know this already. We know that our social mobility rates have been remarkable for years and we've received multiple local and national successes pertaining to social mobility and social mobility ratings. And indeed, our determined, continued efforts to develop workforce development initiatives like the QC Innovation Campus, community initiatives like the Goldfarb Performing Arts Center, and even the university's slogan, the basic slogan, "Your potential, our purpose," all align with this classification and in a way tell us exactly who we are. If you come to Western, if you're a prospective student and you come to Western, you'll be in an environment where intellectual and economic transformation are at the center of your experience. So to conclude, the year 2025, I apologize for this play on words, but I'm going to do it anyway. The 2025 is an opportunity year for Western. Just imagine the success we can have here, and we've already had here, and we can continue to build the lives we change here and the environment we can create here. I appreciate all of the major work already done by faculty, staff, and administration to make WIU successful. Again, we've had excellent ratings in social mobility for years, and it's because of the work of the faculty and the staff and everybody at the university. Yeah. And I'll just say that personally, I will do everything I can to make the vision of success and transformation a reality for our students and, for that matter, for our colleagues. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Keitra Roseley, the Vice President for Finance and Administration, and I'd like to thank Dr. Mindrup for the invitation to share WIU's financial outlook as we enter a new academic and financial year. Since the state budget impasse, the university finances have been a challenging topic, shaped further by decades of enrollment pressures, staffing impacts, financial strain, and increasing deferred maintenance needs. I often dream of prior fiscal environments when we would hurry up and spend funds before June 30th, or honestly, when a 25% reduction in operating expenditures was all we had to worry about. However, to complement Dr. Mindrup's remarks, creating a culture that focuses on comparison of what things used to be would steal from the WIU's future vision and our ongoing success. This past year has been one of monumental financial shifts, difficult decisions, and necessary realignments as we confronted long-term financial deficits and restricted cash flows entering into the fall 2024 semester. The university made significant progress in addressing the looming negative financial trajectory, reducing appropriated expenditures by over $10 million between fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025, while also managing increasing contractual obligations, student support, and decisions at a state and federal level that had negative impacts on higher education. The university called on the state for support by requesting additional capital dollars, advocating for equitable funding for higher education, and seeking legislative changes that would allow for additional flexibility and financial resources. Looking ahead, we will continue these advocacy efforts and decision-making processes that realign our institutional resources. We must continue to recognize that we live in an environment where further enrollment and external risks are greater than ever before, and protecting our mission and our students through the process by remaining financially viable is crucial. While significant progress has been made, our diligent work is not done. Our future budgets are grounded in realistic enrollment projections and built to safeguard our mission and our students. Academic affairs, student affairs, and financial affairs are directly collaborating together to allocate resources where they are needed in future years. This manifests in conversations where we collectively determine whether it's best to use future dollars, maybe between hiring a staff member in admissions or upgrading computers in a lab or fixing an elevator. Fiscal year 2026 budgets and beyond will focus on things like continued advocacy for equitable funding in higher education, the realignment of resources to protect the institution from external pressures, a continued investment in our technology and the implementation of a new ERP, investment in areas that show an opportunity for growth, a priority around our greatest investment, the staff of WIU, with professional development opportunities that will be provided by others, internal and external to WIU, and collaborative processes that establish priorities for student recruitment and retention. This year, we look forward to processes that will allow for more time in decision-making. And in closing, while our diligent and difficult financial work is not yet complete, we have made substantial progress, and we should celebrate that. Together, we will continue to build on this foundation, ensuring that WIU remains financially strong, mission-focused, and ready to serve our students well into the future. I would now like to welcome Vice President for Student Success, Justin Hsu, to the podium to provide further updates on our enrollment.
Thank you very much, Keitra. I'm a little bit more needier of a presenter, so I have some slides. So I want to start by thanking University Television for having me set up here, as well as the COFAC team for having us here today. My focus is going to be to talk a little bit about our incoming student population, give everyone here and who's listening an idea of what our incoming student profile looks like, at least on paper, what we can know about our students, what we can expect as we just start the semester, opened the residence halls yesterday. Usually the mayor's here and he gives credit to the weather to the chamber team, so I will do the same thing. We had amazing weather, so thank you very much, chamber, for that. So to start, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk some about our incoming student population. So this fall, we will welcome overall enrollment about 5,100 students between our campus here in Macomb, the Quad Cities campus, and students attending WIU fully online. Today, again, I'm going to share some insight on our incoming student population. So the numbers, the information is on the incoming students who are joining us this upcoming fall, starting classes on Monday, where we have a little over 1,400, about 1,450 right now, brand new individuals coming to WIU, calling WIU home. An important caveat as I start to click through these slides is that this is point-in-time information. So enrollment changes daily. We have students registering right now. Some of our advisors are working hard getting them registered as I speak. So these are point-in-time. Official enrollment numbers will not be out until after Census Day, which is into the second week of September. So as I share some insight about our student population and who are calling WIU home this fall, please keep in mind it's just as of actually the 19th, because that's when I put together the slides. So I'm going to talk briefly about 4 different slices of the incoming student pie, so to speak. We have our freshman student population, transfer students, graduate students, and then students who are re-entering WIU. So I mentioned all of these over 1,400 calling WIU home for the first time. A slice of this pie are students who are calling WIU home again, who left us for whatever reason that might have been, needed to take some personal time, focus on family, whatever that is, but calling WIU home again. So again, this makes up our incoming student class here. And to break down some of what this percents look like, you can see of that incoming brand new students, 33% of our incoming students are freshmen, 30% are transfer students, 26% are graduate students, and our returning student population is 11%. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time in a minute talking about the returning student population, because that continues to become a larger slice of the pie each year, which is something we should celebrate and be excited about to welcome students back to WIU, and as we help them finish their degree and what they started. So our incoming freshman class, to share a little bit about what for each population, I'll share some information from their application data and what we know about students, some demographic information. I'll also share a little bit about where our students are coming from and some of what their majors are focused on, or some of the top majors. So As we look at the freshman class, breakdown between male and female, you can see 37% of this class coming in is male and 63% is female. This follows a trend nationally as we see males attending higher education shrinking some. Last year, that slice of pie was 43% male. So as we think about our incoming class, this gives a little bit of a picture of what to expect with our freshmen. In terms of ethnicity and race, 56% of this incoming freshman class identify as white, 24% identify as black, and Hispanic student population makes up the next largest at 9%. As we think about where students are coming from, our incoming freshman class comes from 19 different states or areas throughout the world. So the next slide has the list there. I like to have you think about, if you guess in your mind what the order would be. The first one's pretty easy, that students are coming from Illinois. But number 2 is Iowa. The third largest, as we look at our international class, if we group individuals coming from outside of the United States, actually makes up the third largest of this population. And actually, as we think about those 48 states, continental states of the United States, I mentioned the average students coming from our international class outside of that, I should say, I apologize. Their average GPA coming in is a 3.56 of our international student class. An excellent GPA. We're excited to help them transition and navigate the institution, excited to call WIU home. Previous academic environment, so this would be students' high schools that they're coming from, what some of those tops are. You're going to see some ties here, so if you know some individuals who haven't got registered yet from some of these high schools and you want to bump them up some, send them a text as I speak and we'll get that changed here. But number 1, high school where students are coming from the freshman class is Macomb High School this year. That follows similar to last year. And you see United Township, Rock Island, you see the list there. This lets you know a good picture that in terms of West Central Illinois and the Quad Cities area, our team is doing an excellent job recruiting and making sure that everyone knows that WIU is a great place to call home. There is some movement in some of these schools from previous years, and some of those numbers, as you can see, as I mentioned, are pretty tight. So we'll see some official movement as we get closer to 10th day, but we're excited for the incoming class and what things are looking like. In terms of incoming majors for our freshmen and what they're choosing to focus on study-wise, this is a little bit of a longer list here. There's 7 items because there are very, very close numbers here for some of them, and I didn't want to make the decision on where to cut it off. So law enforcement and justice administration is leading us in terms of incoming first-year students and the major that they're interested in, or taking, starting out with. Elementary education, pre-nursing. And there you go, excellent. Business administration, biology, and agriculture round out the initial interests of our incoming freshman class there. So gives you a little bit of insight on what that freshman class looks like. Our transfer class, I'm going to go through some of the same information. And again, you heard me stand up here last year and talk about the importance of us investing and figuring out how we help our transfer students navigate our university environment as this is an important population for us looking forward. We know throughout not only the Midwest, but the country, that graduation rates from high schools will continue to decline. Unfortunately, the Midwest will lead that decline over the next 15 years, and Illinois will unfortunately be number 1 there as well. So it's important that we continue to think about how we diversify that slice of those pie slices for our future enrollment efforts, and our transfer students is an area that we need to continue to invest in. We've spent time really looking at, from initial interest in the institution all the way to graduation, what are things we should be doing to help students navigate as transfer students. I'm proud of the work in both in academic affairs and student affairs throughout the institution to help students understand, transfer students, some of the resources we have, the focused support that they have here at WIU. In terms of breakdown here, you can see 58% of the transfer class are female, 42% male. That is the exact percent as we ended last year, when I stood up here last year to share. So some similar trends there. The race ethnicity breakdown there, you can see 66% of our transfer class are white, Hispanic 13%, and black 12%. Then as we think about the areas that our transfer students are coming from, different states or different parts of the world here, again, Illinois leads us, no surprise. Iowa, then again for our international class, as we look at students coming from outside of the United States, make up the third largest. And then you can see another tie there. So again, if you have friends in Indiana or Wisconsin and they're looking to transfer here, now's a great time to bump them up on that list. A previous academic environment to talk some about here were community colleges that our transfer students are coming from. Black Hawk leads our transfer relationship, and Spoon River College, number 2. You can see the rest, and then again, a whole bunch of ties. I want to take a moment to thank our community college partners because we, like I mentioned, spent significant time this past year learning about what that transfer experience is. WIU and Spoon River College teamed up for the Aspen Institute as we learned from national professionals on what the transfer environment looks like. Many individuals in the room served on a team that we collaborated with Spoon River College to really talk through, again, from start to finish, what does the transfer relationship look like. Last year, Spoon River College, in terms of our incoming, where students were coming from, was number 5 on the list. And this year, they're number 2 on the list. And as they are celebrating some exciting things here in Macomb with a new campus, we're excited for a continued strong relationship with Spoon River and all of our other community college partners. For top majors for our incoming transfer students, law enforcement and justice administration leads there as well. General studies, elementary education, business, and agriculture round out for our incoming transfer students. I'm going to talk just very briefly about our graduate student class, a little lighter information there, as I want to make sure to be cautious of time. And as we dive in, another piece of this is our graduate students tend to register a little bit later than others, so some of this will significantly change over the next couple of weeks as we work towards Census Day. But 71% of the incoming graduate class are female, 29% male. And then if we look at by race ethnicity, 75% of the class is white. The next largest population is our black student population, our graduate students joining WIU this fall. Then top focuses for our new graduate students. You can see business administration leads here for our graduate students, special education, counseling, speech pathology, elementary education, and then we can have a fight out further to round out the top one there, again, as students are getting registered. So the last population I want to focus on just briefly, as I mentioned earlier, is that returning student population, or excuse me, re-entering student population. We have many students returning to us, but 11% of this incoming class are calling WIU home again. So left us for whatever reason that might be. And this population breaks down 56% female, 44% male. You can see the race breakdown there. This is very close to 170 students who are starting back at WIU, giving us a second chance, giving themselves a second chance. So as we think about helping students transition to WIU, it's easy to focus on our traditional populations, freshmen, transfer students. We have a growing population of individuals who are coming back to us, and we're excited to have them. That transition looks different as well. So making sure that as we're talking about getting involved, as we're talking about resources on campus, a growing population of individuals who were here before and now might need those resources and involvement in a very different way because they're at a different point in life. The top majors of our re-entering students, law enforcement and justice administration, you can see the list here, rounds out of what students are coming back and saying, I want to finish what I started, I want to get back and walk across that stage there. So I'm hopeful that this gives at least a quick picture of what our incoming students demographically, some of their interests look like as they start to call WIU home over the next year, and hopefully, depending on where they're at in their academic experience, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time talking about some of our efforts to help students transition to WIU, and then talk about some of our future recruitment efforts and what we'll be focused on this year. The first is we welcome our new students. We've started this last night with our first 4 days, which are the first 4 days before classes start. So I mentioned the residence halls opened yesterday on Thursday. We had a great event last night in the Union, welcoming a few hundred students to get exposed to the Union, meet other individuals. It is really important that we spend time the first 4 days helping our students of all kinds understand what their academic environment will look like starting Monday, whether that be connection to other students, getting the basics down of navigating campus or navigating Western Online, being ready for classes on Monday. Because then we need to focus on the first 4 weeks. Focused effort on what experiences, what things do our students need exposed to in those first 4 weeks of the semester, which are critical for their future success. We'll spend some time talking or focusing this year on what the first 4 months look like. What in the first 4 months of a student's enrollment with us should a student experience? What conversations should they have? What resources should they be utilizing? Because our goal, especially for our first-year students, is that they graduate in 4 years. So you'll hear us focus on our Leatherneck First 4. And again, I want to thank the teams who are helping us throughout campus put on First 4 events. You will see schedules all over campus. Faculty and staff, you're invited to our First 4 events, to all events that are happening in the weeks. Community members, glad to see you. One of the best things we can do to support student success and retention efforts is to help our students understand the importance of getting connected to WIU. Connection to campus, each other, Macomb or Quad Cities communities, to faculty members, to staff, community members, or any other meaningful connection can be the difference in persistence and success for our students of all levels. Through our connections mapping, early engagement, and intervention programming efforts, we can see year after year that students who form at least one connection to our institution within the first 4 weeks of the semester do better. They have higher GPAs, they persist at higher rates, and graduate faster. We should be doing all we can to encourage those connections. So as you see opportunities around campus to get students involved, I hope you encourage those opportunities. And again, you're welcome to come as well and interact with students. Encourage students to attend events, to get involved in a student organization, to think about a research activity, to think about connecting with faculty. Encourage whatever you can. In that vein, we're excited to launch Purple and Gold Points this semester. As gamification continues to be a strong trend in student involvement efforts, we're excited to launch a campus-wide Purple and Gold Point effort. All students attending events throughout the year can earn points to cash in for prizes. Think of all of our nostalgic Chuck E. Cheese days, small prizes from something that went to a few events they can cash in, all the way to large prizes or experiences. Maybe lunch with the president, lunch with the mayor, which we'll ask him about later, but some opportunities to connect again. But we kicked this off last night. Students are very excited about the opportunity to earn points, coming to different things that are focused on their academic success, educational things, the fine arts, athletics, service events, health and wellness, some of our campus traditions, and of course, more traditional social programming. If you're listening and thinking, I want to learn more about this, our Office of Student Engagement is leading the effort, and we'll make sure to get some information out to faculty and staff, but we're excited to welcome some events to add to the list that students can earn points for throughout the semester. If you keep hearing me talk about events and you don't know where you can direct students to or how many there are or anything, I encourage you to go to wiu.edu/leathernecklink, which will have an event tab that lists out every event coming up this semester. The teams have done a great job focusing on making sure to get the information up for our students and our faculty and our staff. And if you have particular events that maybe you're not sure if they've been on Leatherneck Link before, now's the time to work with our Office of Student Engagement and get those on there. We're directing students here every single day to see all the great events that are coming up. The two web pages that I like to direct individuals to, again, are that /Leatherneck link, and then also a resource web page that I've referenced a few resources here and there. If you're not sure what some of those are, this resource website is a repository for all different types of resources here at WIU, as well as in the Macomb community, the Quad Cities community, and for our online students. So it's a one-stop place you can send a student to. Resources are grouped appropriately to make it a little bit easier to navigate. So I'm not asking everybody to remember every individual office name that we have throughout the institution, but if you remember this website and could direct a student there, you will be doing them a large favor. And finally, I'm going to just sum up by talking a few slides on some of our recruitment efforts, and we'll echo what President Mindrup and Provost Mossman mentioned in terms of our status as an opportunity college from the Carnegie Foundation. We will continue to leverage this new status in our recruitment efforts as we look towards all those student populations that I talked about earlier. We should be celebrating our new Carnegie classification And again, because I have a PowerPoint and I'm needy, I want to be able to show a couple of slides from the Carnegie Foundation. You can find it on the Carnegie's website about the Opportunity College. These dots all over this represent institutions throughout the country on where they stand throughout those two measures that Dr. Mossman mentioned earlier. The earnings measure, you can see, as was mentioned on the vertical axis, looks at student earnings 8 years post-graduation compared to similar populations from where students came from, what their background looks like. The horizontal axis looks at access measure and how accessible the institution is for students to get into, to navigate. Again, looks at populations who might be underrepresented, first-generation student college status, goes throughout that. So again, you can see the slide here, and to let you know, Mark already kind of gave you a little bit of where we're at, but here's where WIU is at here. 16% of colleges and institutions have an opportunity college classification, and to reinforce the point a little bit more, if we just look at Illinois public institutions, you can see where we are at. It is true that WIU is offering students an exceptional opportunity here. With both high access and high earnings, we're making sure that students don't have to choose between affordability, accessibility, and future success. This is who we are, and this classification from the Carnegie Foundation helps us articulate that in a very meaningful way that you'll see us do throughout our recruitment efforts over the next many years. But this is how you should think about how we talk about WIU to individuals who are wondering, wanting to learn more about WIU. Not only do we have amazing academic programs, opportunities for involvement, but we should thrive in our opportunity college status that was given to us by the Carnegie Foundation. Thank you. Thank you. Promise I'm almost done. So I want to take a moment to also mention that as we evolve our student recruitment efforts, we're continuing to engage the campus community and our community members and alums. Last spring, as President Mendrip mentioned, we held an Insights and Innovation session. One of those was focused on student recruitment efforts. Over 50 faculty, staff, and community members came together to learn about some of our recruitment efforts and our marketing funnel. They shared ideas on how we can improve, and this fall we'll work to implement many of those ideas and build upon recruitment efforts we know to be impactful. Faculty, staff, community members can look forward to additional conversations this fall where you can learn more about what we're implementing and share additional ideas that you think we should be looking at. We often say that our people are our strength here at WIU. We need to engage and utilize the strength throughout our recruitment efforts. From stopping and saying hello on a campus tour, assisting with a Discover Western Day, or writing personalized cards to prospective students, having students interact with the campus community is one of the best ways to highlight the valuable experience WIU offers. From one of those great ideas from the Insights and Innovation conversation we had last spring, we're excited to expand some new student recruitment efforts in a new partnership with alumni programs. This fall, the Leathernecks will be taking over the state through recruitment and alumni events, welcoming prospective students and some of our amazing alums. The events will highlight both opportunities for that students can have at WIU and learn about the institution, as well as provide a space to recognize and celebrate our alums in the area. As we take over the state this fall, we are looking forward to this intentional collaboration between alumni programs and the undergraduate admissions teams. What better way to help prospective students understand the opportunities they have at WIU than to have direct exposure to many of our fantastic alums? And do not worry if you don't see a stop that you're interested in on this tour. We're already starting to plan the spring Leatherneck takeover. And these are opportunities that current faculty and staff we hope to invite and see people at, again, as you have an opportunity to interact with alums and prospective students. So finally, very finally, every recruitment piece we have at our institution reminds future Leathernecks of our university's motto that Mark mentioned earlier, your potential, our purpose. As we prepare for a great academic year, it is a good time to consider that same motto for our collective lens as a faculty and staff team, and remember who our focus is on. Our students coming back for another great year, or those just starting to call WIU home. No matter if they're here on the Macomb campus, in the Quad Cities, or taking classes fully online, their potential is our purpose. We look forward to a great year ahead. I look forward to seeing many individuals throughout some of the events coming up. And at this time, I'd like to welcome President Mendrip back to the podium.
I left my script on the chair, but I'm not singing. If you were at commencement, I sang a little song once. No, I want to acknowledge, first of all, the leadership of these three individuals. I think when you're navigating some of the challenges that higher education is facing right now, I think it's evident through their work, through the work of everyone in this room, really, that simultaneously, while you're navigating challenges, it is also possible to have a parallel line of creativity, innovation, forward thinking. You don't have to do one thing at one time. And so when you think of the culmination of the activities over the last year, it really is incredible. I've been in higher education for 28 years, and I know some of you have been in higher ed for about the same time. It's incredible what this university as a community has accomplished in such a short amount of time, and I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause. Also want to highlight that leadership extends beyond this stage. We have with us today our UPI leader, Merrill Cole, is here. We have our faculty senate chair, Jeremy Robinette. Yeah, there you are. I knew you were on that side. I think we have Holly Sutton from COAP and Natalie Diven from Civil Service Employee Council. Let's all give them a round of applause. They have been fantastic collaborators and team members on an ongoing basis. We have regular conversations, just really valuable input. Yesterday was move-in day. How many people were involved in move-in day yesterday? I see a lot of people in the room who were there helping families navigate, helping students get their keys, find their rooms, and point them in the right direction. The energy of move-in day is just really incredible. It's truly it's tied for first for one of the best days of the year, along with commencement, the start and finish. The beginning, the excitement, the energy that our students bring, that energizes us. That's what this is all about. And so when I asked the question earlier, are you ready to evolve? I want you to think about those students, whether they're in the classroom, whether they're in residence halls, whether they're working with you on the athletic fields, Paul Bubb. That's where we get our inspiration. And so I'm actually going to take a poll. This might be a little risky, right? But I'm going to go ahead and take a poll. Are we ready to evolve? Yeah, all right. I love it. I knew the School of Nursing was ready because their excitement came out earlier, so they just couldn't contain it. But that energy, thank you so much for the energy that you bring to your work. This is going to be an amazing, exciting year. I'm also excited that we have the support of our community, Mayor Inman once again, our legislators, thank you, Senator Halpin, done amazing work to advocate for the university in Springfield and throughout the region. So just once again, I want to thank you for your support. I wish everyone, this really is the new year, isn't it? They like to pretend that January 1st is the new year, but in academics and university life, this is New Year. Happy New Year, go Leathernecks.